What's up, guys? Back again with another UFC video here. It's going to be on the UFC Fight Night 92 card, Rodriguez versus CACERES, and this is going to be a review slash results slash some post-fight analysis on the fights, and yeah, pretty much tell you what my picks, what I ended up with my picks here. But did very good tonight though, very good. So let's go ahead and get started, guys, with the first fight of the night. Chase Sherman against Justin Ledet. So my pick here, let me log in here real quick. I don't know my pick, but I'm just logging in here on my UFC Pick'em. Pretty good, man. Alright, so for my first pick here, I picked Sherman to win by first round knockout. This guy had all wins by finish. All wins were finished in the first round. This guy's perfect for a DraftKings. He's a finisher pretty much. The problem was his opponent, Justin Ledet here, is undefeated. Is a really good boxer. A little bit faster for the division. Also seems very durable. He also has a submission game, but he really did not get to display it at all in this fight. It was just pretty much a stand-up fight, and from what it seems like, his bread and butter is just straight boxing. So pretty much, guys, the whole fight, it was just pretty much Ledet outstriking Sherman on the feet with his boxing. He looked really good. His movement was good. His defense was good. Yeah, I kind of regret not picking Ledet here. I kind of should have figured his pro boxing experience, might play a factor here. If I would have picked Ledet here, I would have won a lot more money today. But either way, I still came out winning some money on DraftKings. But yeah, Ledet here, to me, he kind of looked like a heavyweight version of Nick Diaz, guys. He had like that boxing style, and then he would put up his his arms to flex like a Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz. You know what I'm saying? This guy has some good hands, some good boxing. So I want to see who he fights next. For Chase Sherman, this guy's very tough. Took a lot of strikes. I mean, look at the significant strikes. 113. Now, Ledet here doesn't have a lot of power in his hands, but he throws a lot of volume. Kind of like I'm saying, like a Nick Diaz or Nate Diaz. That's why I'm comparing them to them, because they have a good boxing. But yeah, I'd like to see Chase Sherman fight in the UFC again. I think the altitude got to him a bit, but at the same time, I just think the better fighter here, Ledet, won with his boxing, and I really do think Sherman here could have won this fight if he would have maybe set up his strikes better, or maybe just utilize some wrestling, because supposedly Ledet here doesn't have very good takedown defense. So yeah, I'm kind of surprised he didn't really mix it up, and he just kept that on the feet the whole time. Not even one takedown attempt, and Sherman's supposed to be kind of like a little bit of a wrestler with some power in his hands. But yeah, guys, not much to say here. I lost this pick, and yeah, I wasn't saying I'm very sad about it, but I was like, damn, should have went with Ledet. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next fight. Swanson against Kawajiri. I picked Swanson to win by third round knockout or finish. Ended up going to decision, which I could also see happening, very possible. So pretty much how this fight went, Kawajiri was doing actually pretty good in the beginning of the fight. I think first and third round, it seemed like maybe Kawajiri could have won some of those rounds, but Swanson ended up winning. Swanson striking obviously won him the fight, but he also had some good defensive positions in the fight where, I mean, you can see Kawajiri had more than 5 minutes of top control, but there was a time when Kawajiri was swept. So Swanson obviously has some very good defensive jiu-jitsu, and pretty much was able to win the fight by keeping it on the feet a lot and using his defensive ground game pretty much to keep him from getting like laid on for the whole fucking fight. So it was a good fight for Swanson here. Showcased his striking. Obviously still has that power, good movement, and overall a cool little fight. But yeah, I won. Of course, I won on this pick, but I just didn't get the perfect pick. So on the Fight Pass prelims, I'm 1 out of 2. Let's go ahead and move on though to the next fight: Ishihara versus Gutierrez. Both these guys strikers. I knew it was going to be a fun fight. I ended up going with Ishihara to win by second round knockout. Guess what, guys? Happened in the first round. Gutierrez being very aggressive. Seemed like he was very durable and had a good chin. But pretty much Ishihara was able to catch him with that left hand. And this guy has a shit ton of power at featherweight. I think most of his wins are by knockout. I think he only has one win by decision. But yeah, this guy has great power. He's training over there at Team Alpha Male. So he's improving his wrestling. He even tried to go for a takedown at one time. He didn't get it though, as you can see by the stats there. 0 for 1 of takedowns. But yeah, you know, he's improving his game. But overall, his bread and butter is his striking, especially that left hand with his counters and his movement. Very good power in that punch. And yeah, I was able to knock out Gutierrez in the first. So look out for this guy, guys. This guy is a very entertaining fighter at 145. So keep your eyes on this guy. So I won that pick. Moving on to the next fight here. Teymur versus Novelli. My pick here was Teymur to win by 3rd round knockout. You know, him wearing him down and whatnot. Ended up being a 2nd round knockout. Either way, you know, knockout's a knockout. Yeah, sorry guys, got some sort of fly or insect crawling on me over here. Ugh. Sorry about that. Anyway, so Teymur versus Novelli. Fight just pretty much ended up being on the feet. Novelli tried to clinch Teymur for a bit, didn't work. Yeah, guys, like I was saying, obviously in my prediction videos, all these fights I already broke down and, you know, predicted. Obviously, I'm not just, you know, just reviewing the fight just to review them. I've already talked about them. But yeah, I said Teymur would be overall the better striker, which is why I really was very confident in picking him to win. And yeah, pretty much his power and his striking really won in the fight. Novelli has some good striking, but you know, he's older. I think he's 37 years old, so yeah, you know, he's older. He looks like a young fighter, but you know, he's older now. So yeah, he just didn't have the speed or the power to keep up with Teymur, and Teymur was just way too technical on the feet, and with that power, just a little bit too much for Novelli, who didn't have no takedowns to, you know, to take down Teymur. So yeah, guys, good win for Teymur, and ended up getting that win again. Moving on to the next fight here, I had Tybura to win by 3rd round knockout. Ended up being a 2nd round knockout for Tybura. Pretty much Tybura was really just dominating the whole fight, guys. Pesta likes wrestling, couldn't take down Tybura. Like I said in my prediction videos, Tybura has that great submission game. His takedown defense should hold up, and he has overall a better striking. Yeah, Tybura, a lot of people are very confident in this guy winning the picks. So, you know, obviously I did my research, and yeah, I agreed. This guy had pretty much, you know, won the fight before it started. You know, I feel even as a heavyweight, I just feel Tybura had the way better skill set. Pesta's striking isn't as good at all. Pesta has horrible striking, and his wrestling is good, but he just wasn't able to take this guy down. So Tybura overall just really won the fight. And in that 2nd round, guys, he finished Pesta with a left head kick. Man, that was a clean ass kick. It was the instant knockout, you know. So check that out if you guys haven't watched that fight. But yeah, it was good to get a win there. Moving on to the next fight here. So I pretty much missed this whole fight, guys. So not much to talk about here, but it seemed like it was kind of a close fight, but at the same time it wasn't. Looks like McGee had a shit ton of takedown attempts. It seems like also like the fight was taking place in the clinch a lot. Either way, McGee here came out on top, guys. Not much to say here, but yeah, I had him winning by decision, and that's what happened. So as you can see in the FS1 prelims, I went 4 out of 4, so very excellent, you know, excellent picks there. Moving on now to the main card, Moroz versus Taylor. So let me just say right now that this was a shitty ass fight. Anyways, I had Moroz to win by decision. That's what ended up happening. There's not much to say here, guys. You can see, look at that shitty ass accuracy. 17 out of 251 strikes for Moroz there. That's horrible right there. That is shit. Pretty much, she threw a lot of punches, but they weren't even close to hitting Taylor, and she was just hitting air a lot. Both of them had the same significant strikes, and Taylor actually had a takedown at the end of the fight. Taylor, I think, should have done the takedowns from the very start if she wanted to actually win the fight, but at the same time, Moroz has a dangerous ground game, which is why I just stayed on the feet. Taylor had that power advantage, which is why I think Moroz was hesitating a lot on the feet, like not getting in close range to, you know, to work her boxing. But I mean, she had the reach, man. Still did not do much at all, guys. This is not for one round, guys. Look at 1 round, 5 significant strikes. 2nd round, 4. This is a horrible fight. Do not recommend watching it unless you guys just want to study tape. But it was pretty much just Moroz coming forward, Taylor backing up, trying to counter with the overhand right the whole time. And yeah, Moroz just hitting air. But yeah, I thought Moroz won the fight. And yeah, got that pick right. Alright, so here's the other guy that messed me up. So, Trevor Smith versus Joe Gigliotti here. I had Gigliotti winning by 2nd round knockout. This guy's a finisher, heavy hands, good wrestling. So the way this fight played out is pretty much just a damn grappling clinic here by Smith. So Smith here, good like a submission wrestler, has good submissions, can wrestle, and yeah, I didn't think he could take down Gigliotti here, especially with Gigliotti's wrestling base, a wrestling background. But yeah, he was able to do it, guys. He was just pretty much, as you can see, look at all the damn control he had. Had a lot of control. Didn't finish Gigliotti, but beat him up. Attempted submissions, as you can see by the stats, and yeah, it was very bad night for Gigliotti. Just got controlled, beat up on the ground, and yeah, kind of regret picking Gigliotti, but at the same time, I knew he would be able to win the fight, but his takedown defense did not hold up. He seemed tired too near the end, and overall, he just couldn't catch Smith, with a good punch. Every single time though it stayed standing, it seemed like Joe was actually hurting Smith, like every punch, every other punch. So I know Joe has that power, but Smith just really went for those takedowns and was able to get him a lot easier than I expected. So yeah, Joe here, and pretty much Joe and Sherman pretty much really ruined my night by not having perfect picks and not making a lot of money, but I still ended up winning money. But yeah, this happens in MMA though. So yeah, guys, I ended up losing that pick. Moving on, Ponzinibbio against Zach Cummings. I had Ponzinibbio here to win by second round knockout. So this ended up going to decision, and yeah, guys, Santiago here kept it on the feet. So you can see Cummings actually did on one takedown, but didn't do much with it. And yeah, Santiago here really just kept it on the feet, and as you guys already know, Santiago is a really good striker, tons of power, and just won the fight. He just landed a lot of strikes, kept moving forward, landing power punches. Zach Cummings a tough guy. Some of those shots look pretty hard, but Zach Cummings very durable, an iron chin, able to take the shots, so ended up going decision. Either way, it was still a win. Moving on. So this is another grappling heavy fight. So Leites versus Chris Camozzi. I had Leites here to win by decision, but I think I remember in my prediction video I also said maybe he could get a late submission or something like that. And yeah, he ended up winning in the third round by submission. Either way, he was on his way to winning a decision. He just pretty much took down Camozzi a lot. 5 out of 11 on his takedowns, not bad at all. Had submission attempts. Obviously landed some significant strikes on the ground. Camozzi just didn't really have an answer when he was on his back, and that's what pretty much cost him the fight. On the feet, Camozzi had his moments a little bit in that third round, but overall, if you don't have the takedown defense to keep it on the feet, then well, you're gonna get dominated on the ground by someone who's really good on the ground. Obviously, Leites having that jiu-jitsu black belt, and yeah, he just pretty much out grappled Camozzi, which seems to be Camozzi's weakness here. So yeah, very grappling heavy fight. Leites was able to get that late submission. I think it was a rear naked choke, and yeah, that was it for that, guys. So at least I won that pick though. So moving on to the co-main event, Bermudez versus Ronnie Jason. This fight I thought was very similar to Elkins versus Pepe. If you guys seen that fight, it was not too long ago. I think maybe like 2 weeks ago, maybe even last week. Anyways, yeah, Bermudez was obviously utilizing his wrestling here. 5 out of 10 on his takedowns. Landed some significant strikes also. He blooded up and cut up Ronnie Jason on the ground with a nice elbow. Jason really didn't have an answer on the ground much. He almost busted a late submission on Bermudez. It seemed like Bermudez got too comfortable on the feet, and yeah, they wound up on the ground, and Jason was, I think, on top for a bit, or he almost got a submission. So Bermudez is in trouble in that late third round. So Bermudez, it seems like he's about to win the fight, and then out of nowhere, he almost loses the chance, to win the fight. Almost gets caught with something, or sometimes he actually does lose. So luckily, Bermudez was able to keep it at a win here. Not lose the fight. Was able to just pretty much beat up Jason the whole time on the ground. Also did strike him out a bit, but yeah, Jason didn't do much in this fight besides try to defend off his back, and overall Bermudez won by decision, and that was my pick. So perfect pick there. So moving on to the main event here, guys, we have Rodriguez versus CACERES. So as you can see, Rodriguez attempted a shit ton of strikes. Anyways, my pick here was Rodriguez to win by decision. That's what ended up happening. Perfect pick there. Yeah, pretty much just stayed on the feet most of the time. Not much top control or groundwork at all. Both of them did have a takedown each. But overall, Rodriguez was the busier fighter on the feet, threw a shit ton of strikes. As you can see, he almost threw, I want to say, twice as much strikes. Landed twice as much strikes as CACERES. And yeah, he was very flashy, of course, always throwing those kicks and whatnot, the flashy kicks, flashy techniques. But I still think Rodriguez here needs to work more on his boxing and maybe even more like his jiu-jitsu or something like that. I still think his ground game's not too good, but this guy has some great scrambles though from the ground. You know, he gets up really quickly if people take him down, it seems like. But CACERES is not really being known as a wrestler, so I really want to see how Rodriguez would stand against maybe like a Ricardo Lamas or Dennis Bermudez. You know, I think those two fighters against Rodriguez would be an interesting fight, you know. So I think Rodriguez has still some improvements to make, but overall he's a very fun and flashy fighter, and yeah, it's fun to watch. So yeah, guys, he ended up getting the win here. One judge scored it for CACERES 49-46, which I thought was crazy. I thought Rodriguez at least won three out of the 5, but for sure I would want to say he won 4 out of the 5. I think CACERES only won like the 3rd round, I would say. But yeah, Rodriguez ended up getting the win, guys, and ended up getting that win there on my picks. So overall, guys, on my UFC pick'em stats here, I ended up going 10 out of 12, which is very good. That's what I want to say, 80%, maybe even more than that. Anyways, 10 out of 12. I got 1 bonus and 4 perfect picks. Perfect picks were the Rodriguez versus CACERES, Bermudez versus Jason, Moroz versus Taylor, and McGee versus Steele. Pretty much all those fights right there were by decision. They were very easy to pick, you know, to be decision fights. So yeah, guys, overall this card wasn't too hard to, you know, to pick on some fighters besides the heavyweight fight like Sherman and Ledet, and the Smith and Gigliotti fight. Those are the 2 fights that I really thought Gigliotti would kind of mess me up. I thought maybe Sherman would come through a little bit more, but yeah, you know, this shit happens in MMA, and you know, we could only improve from here. You know, I should have thought about maybe Smith's experience. You know, I know this guy's been knocked out before though in the 1st round a lot, like a few times. So I thought Gigliotti could also catch him in the 1st round because he comes out explosive and fast. So you know, I had my reasons for picking the fighters, like Sherman having all wins by finish in the 1st round. So you know, I had my reasons, but you know, I think I should have studied him a bit more. Like that's boxing experience, pro boxing experience, and him having the better cardio, being, you know, weighing less than Sherman would play a factor here. And then of course Smith's experience and really grinding grappling game, you know, would pose some problems for Gigliotti on the fight. But you know, it happens with these you know, it happens in MMA, it happens sometimes with these fights there, especially with debuting fighters like Gigliotti here. Now for fighters that, you know, I've seen fight before, I feel a lot more comfortable picking on them, to be honest, guys. So I'm gonna try not to you know, pick the debuting fighters as much on DraftKings, because these 2 guys cost me some money. But yeah, overall I just gotta step up my research game a little bit more on these debuting fighters, and I think we should be good here. So yeah, guys, let me know what you guys' picks were, what you guys ended up getting. Like I said, I ended up getting 10 out of 12, which is very good. I know some guy ended up getting 12 out of 12 on this Facebook betting group. You know, he ended up getting 12 out of 12, so that's very excellent. But yeah, that's it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys haven't joined DraftKings, join that now. I won some money tonight on that. I think I ended up $88. I put in $20.50. I ended up winning $88. So they did pretty good on DraftKings with like six lineups or something like that. But yeah, you guys want to make money. You guys want to make money, and you guys are good with picks. I hope you guys are on DraftKings. If not, click my link below in the description and let's make some money. Alright, guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. Overall, a nice little card. Go ahead and rate it 8 out of 10. It was a fun little card. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Stay tuned for more. Catch you on the next one.